Hey guys, KHI Master here. I'm making this video as a response to Magus X1's Magus Looks Back series, in particular his Spax Wars video. Now, the reason I'm doing this, well, before I go into that, Magus, I've been a long-time subscriber of yours. I mentioned that in my update video, but I don't think you saw that. But I've been a very long-time subscriber of yours since 2008. I was 15 at the time. I'm 21 now. So 6 years, crazy to think, right? It seems like yesterday, honestly. I still remember like it was yesterday watching your videos on a daily basis. And you were one of my biggest inspirations into like doing rants. I don't really do rants anymore, but like I'm going kind of into more just regular videos like about video games, basically. Because I'm pretty kind of discontinuing the whole Let's Play thing, but that's besides the point. So, the reason I'm doing this video as a response to your Spax Wars video. Now, Magus, he kind of just summarized the whole thing, because he mostly wanted to talk about just copyright and such, because that's really important, because that's still relevant now. Spax isn't, but copyright and DMCAs are definitely still relevant now, especially with what went on with the whole debacle with demonetizing Let's Play videos. So he kind of summarized like how the whole Spax Wars started, and to be fair, Magus wasn't like super involved in like there was a huge part of it he wasn't involved in, and he kind of said that the way he summarized it, it made it seem like the Spax Wars was a big continuous thing that went on for over a year, and it really wasn't. And I mean, with all due respect, I mean, it's because, and most of this is because a lot of history has been lost. Like, most of Spax's, like, pretty much all of Spax's videos that he made on his YouTube channel before he closed it in September of 2008, like, other than his game reviews, everything else, like, it's gone. Like, you can't find them anywhere. They're not re-uploaded anywhere. For a time, there were a few of his, like, super angry videos that got re-uploaded, but they're not on, like, anywhere on YouTube anymore. As far as I know, they could be on Dailymotion, they could be on Blip. Well, probably not on Blip, because Blip had that whole, they changed everything. I really don't want to say revisionist history. It's just, it's as a result of a lot of history being lost, and people not remembering everything that happened, especially the people who, like Magus, who didn't get involved until, like, everything blew up around September of 2008. So, let's go back to the past, to 2007. Now, for those of you who don't know who Spax is, or didn't watch Magus's video, Spax was a guy who, he was a game reviewer on YouTube who had a lot of emotional issues, had a lot of anger issues in particular. The reason he really cared about who was voicing the characters, how the Sonic voices were, was because at the time, Spax was an aspiring voice actor. Aside from gaming, like, voice acting was his biggest passion. He aspired to become a professional voice actor, which is why he was very critical of the voice acting in various video games. He was very critical of the 4Kids voice cast of the Sonic games at the time, and he had a lot of fan dub projects that he was working on, none of which worked out. How this whole thing started. Now, this isn't really where the Spax Wars started, because at this point it really wasn't the Spax Wars, as we know. Wait, I'd say it started the Spax Saga, but it really wasn't a war. There really wasn't a war surrounding things that Spax was doing. Now, the reason Spax hated Jason Griffith, people tend to assume that he just hated him because he replaced Ryan Drummond, and Spax was frustrated by that. Now, he was frustrated by that, but that's not why he hated Jason Griffith. Spax, now, like, in his, like, earliest review, like, he kind of talked about the voice switch in his Sonic 06 review for the Xbox 360. He talked about the Sonic voice switch and his frustrations with it, and he was very critical of the Sonic voice cast, but he didn't outright hate anyone. It was when Spax had messaged Jason Griffith on MySpace, asked him a few questions about the voice switch, and he got a response, and Spax felt like Jason Griffith had given him some dishonest answers. So Spax messaged him again, asking more questions, and then Jason responded again, giving kind of I guess a similar response. Spax didn't take the response too well, and that's where the whole hate against Jason Griffith started. It wasn't over him replacing Ryan Drummond, it was over how he responded to some things that Spax said, and that's what started the whole Spax's crusade against Jason Griffith and his activism against 4Kids. But the thing was, Spax wasn't actually Spax was not the only one doing it. Prince of Moose, because see, even though people were thought, well, Spax was kind of going over the top, they felt he was justified because Prince of Moose had also messaged Jason Griffith over MySpace and got a similar response. So Prince of Moose also hated Jason Griffith, not to the extent that Spax did, but he hated him nonetheless. He even made a video. Prince of Moose even made a video saying that he would not be sad if it was like what Prince of Moose said was, Jason Griffith and 4Kids can just drop off the face of the earth and die for all I care. He actually said that. Like, I remember him, Guptil89, and if anyone remembers Guptil89, he made this video criticizing people who were complaining about the 4Kids voice cast, and he used both Spax's clip, the infamous Not Griffith clip, and Prince of Moose's clip where he said, Jason Griffith and 4Kids can die for all I care in his video. Now, that video's not up anymore either, but it just goes to show Spax wasn't the only one doing that. Granted, Spax led the charge on the activism against 4Kids, but Prince of Moose also did his fair share of shit. Guardian Earth. It was like the Sonic voice war. It really wasn't a Spax war. It was just a war between the Ryan Drummond fans like Spax3, Guardian Earth, Prince of Moose, Kaiser Webb, Spongepore, Yamato Bushi, and Stickman against the Jason Griffith fans like Guptil89 and others. So it was really just like them, the Ryan Drummond fans fighting the Jason Griffith fans, them just criticizing each other. But it really didn't revolve around Spax, at least not yet. And to be fair, Spax wasn't really involved in most of that drama. It was mostly like... And most of it really wasn't arguing. It was just people lampooning other people, like people making fun of Guptil89 mainly. The main proponents of that were like Yamato Bushi and Kaiser Webb and Spongepore. But it's stupid to say the least looking back, but at the time, the perception was that Jason Griffith was a douchebag, and Spax and Prince of Moose and the Ryan Drummond fans were justified in hating on him. Now, here's where really the drama surrounding Spax started, around April 2008. At that point, Spax didn't really hate Jason Griffith anymore. He disliked him, but he didn't hate him, and he actually kind of liked him as Shadow the Hedgehog at that point. For a while, and there's a big part I'm leaving out, like Spax and Guardian Earth and Prince of Moose and all of them were phoning in to Sega telling them, hey, I would like Ryan Drummond, we would love for the original voice cast to come back for future Sonic games, and they even tried working with Nintendo to get Ryan Drummond to voice Sonic again, because 4Kids was not involved in that game, but Sega and 4Kids intervened. Even though Nintendo tried to help and tried to get Ryan Drummond to come back, Sega and 4Kids intervened. Jason Griffith is still voicing Sonic in Brawl. So after that, Spax said, you know what, we tried to get, even after we tried to get Ryan Drummond to come back to voice in a game, Sonic in a game that Sega and 4Kids had no involvement in, we were still stuck with Jason Griffith. So let's go to Plan B. So Spax had this voice switch plan where they would negotiate with Sega and 4Kids to get more favorable 4Kids voice actors, because to voice the Sonic characters. Like I remember the big one was getting either Sean Shamel or Mike Sinter-Nicholas to voice Sonic instead of Jason Griffith, since they were employed with 4Kids. And then it started a whole drama situation. Now the Ryan Drummond fans were at each other's throats. And that's where Big Al got involved, Darkness got involved, Magus got involved, Jedi got involved. And eventually that one solved itself out. It actually wasn't a whole continuous thing. So, like, people made up, like, Spax and Guardian Earth made up, but he was no longer on good terms with Yamato Bushi and Kaiser Webb specifically. So, that was that. So, but then it was business as usual from there. So, throughout May and June, it was business as usual. But then in July, there was another... See, here's another thing. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes with YouTube. See, they weren't just making videos. Their contact was not just with making videos. There was a lot... Like, they were talking to each other on Skype and on AIM and on DeviantArt, so... There was just a lot going on behind the scenes that most of us didn't see. There was a dispute between Guardian Earth and Spax over a video that Guardian Earth made that Spax didn't care for. And it wasn't really anything personal. Spax just didn't like the video. Guardian Earth took it personally. And then there was kind of that disagreement between them, but then they got through that. But then another thing happened where some of Guardian Earth's friends and fans were attacking Spax, and then it just, like, this whole shitstorm behind the scenes blew up, and then Spax just decided, you know what, I don't think we should be friends anymore. We should go our separate ways, and that's kind of what happened. So Guardian Earth took it personally. He thought Spax was a really good friend, so he makes a journal on DeviantArt, making the whole thing public, and then they started making videos against each other. Guardian Earth made a video, Spax made a video, Guardian Earth made another video, Spax made another video. And it was just a shitstorm. And then more and more people got involved. Stuff came out about how Spax was in a... if anyone remembers Richard Kuda, he had this Sonic fan film, and Spax was set to voice Sonic in that. And word got out that Richard Kuda claimed that Spax was being lazy, so he was forced to fire him. And then there was this other thing where apparently Spax sued a 13-year-old girl, which that wasn't true. But given how much was going on, like, this was when, like, everyone was turning against Spax. So people got tired of hearing about it. Like, people just kept getting sucked into it. Big Al got sucked into it. Darkness the Curse got sucked into it. Magus got sucked into it. And then people just got sick of it. So people made... Oh, and Random DC got sucked into it. So people were making video after video against Spax. And it was just like, one day, like, right after Big Al had made his video, it was called Ending the Drama, Don't Fucking Count on It. And then Magus made a video, Chibi Fighter made a video. It was just this huge surge of videos against Spax happened, and then Spax closed his account. And then he did his own website, doing his own thing. And then people make their victory videos, and now it's business as usual, except, like Magus said, people didn't let the thing go. People were still making parody videos. And then, here's the big thing. There was this user by the name of Boomstick545, and he started making commentary videos against Spax's game reviews. And he was doing them more for fun, just, like, as parodies, and just lampooning him. He really wasn't hating on him, but there were a lot of other parodies. Yamato Bushi made a video. The infamous Spax 3 is a Crybaby video. Just all these parodies. And initially Spax was just taking down videos that well, really just accounts that were claiming to be Spax, but were not, and they were re-uploading his game reviews without permission. And now, believe it or not, Spax could actually do that, because there's something that not a lot of people know about when it comes to copyright, is the Byrne Doctrine. And the Byrne Doctrine states that you don't have to file with the copyright offices, like, let's say this video, like, let's say someone takes this video and re-uploads it on their channel, and they don't change anything, it's just this video, and they do it without my permission. Under the Byrne Doctrine, I don't have to file this video with the copyright offices of, I guess, Indiana, because that's the state where I live. I don't have to file it with the copyright offices. It's still my property. I can file a claim against that video and I can get it taken down. I don't have to file it with the copyright offices. So those types of videos, the re-uploads without his permission, he could take those down. But then Spax started taking parody videos down, and he started taking a bunch of Boomsticks videos down. That was the big one, the whole Spax Boomstick ordeal. And to answer Magus's question on why certain people weren't targeted, like why he wasn't targeted, why a lot of people who were just making general rant videos against Spax weren't being taken down, it was because, I mean, Spax was being unreasonable with the whole copyright situation, but he wasn't taking down rant videos. I even made a video. It was called Spax Before You Delete This, Please Watch This. Like, I even made a video, and Spax didn't even discover it until September, after everything was said and done, after the whole thing just blew over. So, like, I don't think Spax saw most of those rant videos. Like, Magus's videos, I don't think he saw most of those. I don't think he saw Aztec005's videos. I don't think he saw he probably saw Helsing's video, but he didn't file a copyright claim against that one. But he wasn't going after rant videos. He was going after, like, the parodies and the commentaries. People like Boomstick and Random DC and all the other parodiers like Yamato Bushi, like Prince and Moose, like, they were able to, like, they were even high, they were just so high on Spax's shit list that they were able to take all the bullets, while other people like Magus and Aztec and Metroid Prime fan were able to go pretty much almost unnoticed. So that was the whole thing, so. And then that whole thing eventually blew over, so. Now, before I went into even more detail than Magus did, I mean, now to answer, like, I know a lot of people are going to be saying, why are you making this video? It's irrelevant. Just because something is irrelevant doesn't mean we shouldn't be allowed to talk about it. Like, it'd be like if we were to say, let's stop having history classes because the Civil War is irrelevant, or World War II is irrelevant, or... Because the thing is, like, if we don't go back and talk about what happened in the past, if we don't remember the past, we're going to just keep making the same mistakes that we made years ago. Like, the biggest mistake we made was... that people made was, they didn't ignore the whole situation. They just got involved when they didn't really need to say anything. So that's the whole thing to take out of this. If a drama situation occurs and you're not involved with it, don't get involved. It's just, you're getting your 2 cents on it is not going to help while it's going on. So that's what we should take out of the whole Spax saga. And that's all I have to say about that. But, now this is the only video I'm going to go with to go back to, like, looking at YouTube in hindsight. But that's really all I have to say on the whole thing. After this, it's just going to be fun videos. The next video I'm going to make, if it comes out before Remember 2005, is my thoughts on a possible Kingdom Hearts 3D HD remix, or remake, or whatever you want to call it. But anyways, this is Jedi Masters, signing off.